Packers rookie linebacker Edgerrin Cooper was flying all over the field in 2024. Stay tuned to find out why we believe he could take an even bigger step forward and become a dynamic weapon this season. Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley did a tremendous job of unlocking the athleticism of linebacker Edgerrin Cooper. Now, there's still some things he needs to work on, but Ryan, I'm excited to dig into his film because there was a nice progression week by week from the beginning of the season to the end of the season where he went from showing some flashes to making some seriously impactful plays for a team that was in the mix of one of the better teams in the NFL.
Well, Joe, I mean, we always knew Edgerrin Cooper was going to be a dynamic weapon on the NFL level as long as he ended up with a creative defensive coordinator, right? Like there are going to be some things just proactively that Edgerrin Cooper's going to guess occasionally, like he just is, but the athleticism, the explosiveness, the diversity, he can cover, he can work from depth as a blitzer, he can run fit inside and out. All the makings are there, and I think with Coach Hafley, it's been a great pairing so far.
Ryan, let's dig into the film and show why Cooper made some seriously impactful plays last year and what he can do this upcoming season. Ryan, one of the big talking points with Cooper coming out of the 2024 draft was that he didn't really have the instincts and he needed to do a better job of learning how to play the position, to be more reactive, to not hesitate, to not guess. And it felt like from week one towards the end of the season, and this game in particular where he was really unlocked to playing to his true potential, he was starting to get more comfortable. He was starting to believe in his decision-making, and he was starting to be more aggressive as well. I thought that this play really exemplified what he can become in year two if he does more things like this. This is him being the front side linebacker, just seeing that this play is flowing to the left side, not hesitating, attacking downhill, and making a play at the line of scrimmage. There's no reason why he can't do more of this and to put behind him a lot of the stuff at the beginning of the season where he was pausing and he was hesitating or he was even guessing.
Well, I mean, he's always going to be an asset against a team like Kevin O'Connell's offense here, because what Kevin O'Connell likes to do is they really like to stress the defense laterally, and that means a lot of outside zone, that means some toss stuff. And you see Aaron Jones get that to the short side of the field. But the problem is that with how Green Bay out-leveraged the play side here, you ask Garrett Bradbury to try to have an insane reach block and cut off him from the front side, and Cooper's just too athletic. I mean, a lot of linebackers would have been able to maybe out-leverage Bradbury to the play side, but the fact that he was able to do it so easily and maintain his athleticism and work to the perimeter, you see the explosiveness, you see the range, and honestly, like that was just a tremendous play and understanding of what Minnesota likes to do from a run scheme perspective. What did I say in the opening, Joe? A creative defensive coordinator is going to get the most out of Edgerrin Cooper, and we see obviously a movement up front here, and you got two guys basically unblocked on this play. Number 90 was a little bit of the sacrilegious lamb on here, but you got Cooper, you got number 55, but Cooper, of course, off of as a looper here in an easy opportunity to beat a pretty talented guard in Peter Skoronski to his upfield shoulder. You see the explosiveness, you see the bend as well, to bend and flatten to the quarterback, which leads to a massive sack for the Green Bay Packers.
This one play was a lot earlier on in the season, and this one like really quickly caught my attention when I was going through all of his the tackles that he had from this past year. And Jeff Hafley, coming from Boston College, I don't think enough people like really knew a lot about him in the NFL world of like, oh, what are we going to expect from them? How's this defense going to look? He activated the traits and the skill sets of so many guys, and I think that Edgerrin Cooper ultimately ends up being the perfect example of how he did that. This is such a very creative stunt that they run here, and the confusion that is caused by the left side of the line of scrimmage, the right from the viewing perspective, but the left side of the offensive line, they don't know what to do. And because Edgerrin Cooper's so fast with all this chaos that's being built up, he ends up being the first one to meet at the quarterback when all three of these guys close down on Will Levis. I love this play, and I think that it really encapsulates what more can be done in 2025 with Cooper and with some of these other players that are just really underrated and explosive athletes that can continue to wreak more and more havoc.
Well, Hafley really put, again, Peter Skoronski into conflict there as a left guard, because you had, again, two guys coming into the A and B gap on that right side there. And honestly, He ends up missing both, but either way, if he does make clean contact with Cooper, or he decides to take number 55 instead on his inside shoulder, someone's going to be free here, right? So great design by Coach Hafley, but ultimately you need the athletes to finish plays, and that's what Cooper did. Once again, Kevin O'Connell is trying to stretch it laterally to the short side of the field, and you see that just quickly, Cooper out-leverages this block to the front side, and the tight end has little to no chance, and he also ends up slipping the gap on the inside and actually makes even earlier contact than I would anticipate, Joe. Like, this showcases pure athleticism. Most linebackers would have stayed attached to that tight end, kept riding it out toward the sideline, tried to leverage the space and to eliminate the space, but Cooper is so explosive and athletic, he's able to slip off in the inside and make a huge tackle for loss on a play that is generally not a play that you make a ton of tackles for loss for.
The biggest key with Edgerrin Cooper and him taking the step that we're hoping for this season is the fact that he's so fast and he's so athletic. The processing does not meet the speed that he plays at just yet. But this is an example of a play where he's just playing. He is not reacting. He is just, as the play is occurring, he is allowing for his body to take over. So as you talked about here, he could have completely committed to where the tight end was. He could have gotten completely distracted by that, but instead he corrects mid-play, and because he's athletic enough, he can plant and he can explode, and then he can end up wrapping up and taking down Aaron Jones. These are the types of underrated plays that maybe during a broadcast that we see, like, oh, nice tackle by Edgerrin Cooper, that when we flip on the tape, it's like, wow, this really took a lot of trust in his body, trust in what he thought he was seeing, and then the aggressiveness to just finish, come down on Aaron Jones, and to end the play at the line of scrimmage.
I would echo the word trust as well here. Trust, comfort, and talent. That's what meshes, and that's what made this play the combination of all three of those things.
Folks, comment below. How many tackles do you think that Edgerrin Cooper is going to have in 2025? Hit that like button and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.